Wait a second. So everyone here has done this before? It must be some kind of tournament of champions.
He said it! He said it!
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel, and yes, that does happen in the movie. Today we are talking Escape Room 2, and that is Tournament of Champions. This is a spoiler-free review. Let me know if you're watching this down in the comments below, and let's do it. So, 6 people unwillingly find themselves locked in another series of escape rooms, slowly uncovering what they have in common to survive. Joining forces with 2 of the original survivors, they soon discover that they've all played the game before. And that's exactly what happens. It's a tournament of champions. Kind of reminds me of that Teen Titans episode. You remember when they bring in all the superheroes and they're forced to fight each other? You guys didn't see that? Well, this reference is a waste of time. And I'll admit, there was fun to be had with the first movie. Does it kind of feel like it's trying to be Saw at times? Yes, and were some of the traps kind of ridiculous in terms of how they solved them? Of course, but that's part of the fun with the film, right? This movie, honestly, falls almost entirely in line with the first in terms of what happens with these characters. Now, the characters are more on top of things because they've been here before, they've done it before, except this time there are new traps and they're trying to find the connection between all of the traps, all of these situations that they are placed in. And because this is not new to them, they're all kind of on top of it when it comes to that. Now, is there that character that tries to argue with everything? Yeah. Are there characters that make really, and I mean ridiculous decisions? One in particular, he at a point believes he was here for a purpose and he's going to use faith to get them out of this situation. And everybody in the audience is sitting back going, bro, don't do it. And even the characters in the game, they're like, what are you doing? Stop being so stupid. And sure enough. Sure enough. And yeah, some of the decision-making is dumb, and some of these situations, they're predictable in terms of which character is going to be taken out next. You can kind of see what is about to happen before it happens, and that's also a detriment to the film. Now, our 2 main characters, Zoe and Ben. Zoe is kind of the character at this point that is really on top of things, and she really shows some of these other newbies that she can find her way out of these traps, and she's always looking, whether it be through a different lens, or at one point they're all in an escape room, and everybody's like, hey guys, here's the exit, and she's like, but this is the exit. It's like she's smarter than everyone else, and I really enjoyed her character because she is calm and collected when pretty much no one else is, and Ben understands at this point that she is the one that you have to trust, even though sometimes where they believe they are headed is not necessarily what the creators of the game have lined up for them. And every time they get to a point to where they figured something out or we're moving on to the next destination, something is inevitably going to happen. And that's part of the fun of this series. But again, I come back to the fact that the fun comes from the creativity behind the situations that they are in, right? That's part of why we had so much fun with the first one at times, even though character decisions and those things, they were going to bother us. Now, I will say that the games in this film and the sequel are not as, in my opinion at least, well put together. Now, they are crazy, absolutely, and the keys that they have to find and slowly putting the clues together. Sometimes, it's to the point to where I wasn't really buying a lot of this, and they were so strategically placed and so just outlandish, and I said, how in the world are they figuring this out so fast? But even further than that, and I know they've been here before, whatever, how in the world are they figuring this out so fast? How are they putting these things together in a way that just seems like they have to be geniuses to do? And again, that's part of the fun of the game. If they don't escape these rooms, then we don't have a movie. So somebody has to escape each time, right? But man, it felt like, especially the first few, they're all so on top of it. And other than a few dumb decisions, they are really going at it at a pace that just felt like, oh man. And some of these traps, in my opinion, were just too much, to the point to where I could not believe they survived, even though they were figuring it out. One involved electricity, and it was shocking every part of this location that they were in. I won't give away spoilers. And I'm sitting here like, all right, y'all should be dead. You're not dead, but you should be dead. How in the world? And again, some of it could be strategic from the creators, but just from what I was getting, I'm like, okay, you just have to put believability aside for most of this film. And if you do that, and if you're okay with that, you're going to have some fun with it. Absolutely, because there's fun to be had. But I just wasn't entirely convinced by what a lot of our characters do. Another thing that I'll say about this entire cast is our two main characters, I like them because we've grown to like them via the first film. But the rest of the characters, they're just not as dynamic as the first film's cast. They all kind of fit into their roles and they play those roles, but there wasn't much more beyond that. Now we get an inevitable sort of a twist at the end. I didn't buy it on the degree that I should have, but I thought it was fun enough. And again, the games, some of them are entertaining. Some of them were just a bit too much for me. Overall, there was a lack of creativity compared to the first. But if you guys know what you're in for, then I think you're going to have a pretty good time with it, especially if you look at it as kind of like a new, distinct version of the Saw franchise. So before I give you guys my score, have you ever been a part of an escape room? I've never done one, but they seem really fun. And thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to drop your thumbs up down below, that would be awesome. This sequel lacks the believable creativity of the first, but fans may find some fun. I'm right down the middle. I'm a 50% for Escape Room 2. What's the subtitle again? Oh yeah, it's
Tournament of Champions. Yans. Yeah, there it is.
I haven't slept in a while. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned. My next video is Space Jam: A New Legacy, my review. See you later.